الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Tonight we will be continuing on Surat Muzammil, and we will be inshallah talking more about the general meanings of the surahs and how this can be related to our daily life inshallah. The last thing we did, or the last ayah we did last week, was the ayah رب المشرق والمغرب لا إله إلا هو فاتخذه وكيلا. So tonight inshallah we will be moving forward, and the next ayah would be واصبر على ما يقولون واهجرهم هجرا جميلا. Now this ayah came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam at the time when he got the opposition from his own tribe, from his own family, from his own beloved ones, and they became his opponents, and they started to actually go against him in mocking him, or even giving him bad attributes, and talking against him, and actually warning people against him, right? So here is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam: وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا يَقُولُونَ وَاهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا. Be patient about what they utter against you. وَاهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا, and keep away from them in a graceful manner. And keep away from them in a graceful manner. Now, here is the thing. This was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He came to fulfill the asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's not getting any worldly benefit. He is not gaining anything except that he wanted to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he got this divine message to convey it to the people. He was chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a prophet, meaning that he was the best man ever to take this responsibility. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in his way challenges and people who were who gave him all types of difficulties. Now think about it. When we as followers of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we say some good words to others, and then people reject that, or even when we keep quiet and people think about us or talk against us in a negative way, either like for example, when they mock at our beard, when they mock at the hijab of our sisters, we get offended so much, and some of us may come to a point where we say, okay, maybe I need to shave my beard, maybe I need to take off my hijab. I don't want to face all these troubles. Why should I? But here is the thing. If Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was the best man, and he was supported by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yet he had to face all these challenges and all this opposition, what should we expect ourselves? And yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked him to be patient. Now Allah said, وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا يَقُولُونَ, and show patience over what they say against you. وَاهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا, and stay away from them in a graceful manner. Hajran Jamila, when you stay away from, here there are two options that Allah has given him. Be patient and stay away from them in a graceful manner. And actually those two options are not like two options that he can take either one. In fact, what the ulama have said, that this means that first try to show patience, and if you cannot, then leave them away in a graceful manner. Now, leave them, see the order here. The order that you need to first start by showing patience and try to endure the difficulty or the problems that you are seeing from others. So that is what we are supposed to do first. If we cannot If it goes beyond our limit, if it goes beyond our capability, then at that point in time, we stay away from the trouble or from the people who are making those issues, and in a graceful manner. I would kindly ask the sisters to give us the chance to, sisters, kindly, inshallah, let us all get the benefit from this class. Jazakumullah khair. Barakallah fikum. Okay, so this is the order that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to go through. But now here's the other thing. أصبر على ما يقولون. Show patience. وَهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا, and leave them away in a graceful manner. In Quran, there were three actions at which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described as jameel, in a graceful or beautiful manner. Anyone can remember the other two? So, اهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا, هَجْرٌ جَمِيل. What else? صَفْحٌ جَمِيل and صَبْرٌ جَمِيل. صَبْرٌ جَمِيل. So, صَبْر جَمِيل, صَفْح جَمِيل, and Hajr Jameel. Those were the three actions that were described in Quran as Jameel. So what does Jameel here mean? First, let's take the three words. Hajr, to stay away from someone, right? Sabr, to show patience. Safah, to forgive. Safh, to forgive. Okay, so three actions. Okay, so what does the word Jameel add to the meaning of each of these three? So what does it mean when you stay away from people in a graceful manner? Like kindly and not in a rude manner. Well, okay, well that's acceptable, but there's a specific meaning here. So he said in a kindful manner. So اهجرهم هجرا جميلا, stay away from them without backbiting them. You see the point? That's very important, by the way. Many of us, when we see people making trouble, we say, okay, we'll leave them alone. But then we go everywhere and we talk against them, right? Then we do worse than what they did to us. You see the point? اهجرهم هجرا جميلا means stay away from them and do not backbite them. Do not talk against them. Do not reply against them in another, falsehood. So that's اهجرهم هجرا جميلا. Okay, how about صبر جميل? Sabr means patience. So show patience. What does the word jameel add to sabr here? Huh? Without whining? Complaining? Yes, exactly. It's to show patience without complaining. Many people say, okay, akhi, I'm so patient. It's too much, ya akhi, too much, but I'm patient. How could you be patient if you're saying it is too much? That's no patience. Patience in Arabic means habsul nafsi an at-tashakki, that you control yourself, you stop yourself from complaining. If you do that, then that means patience. Otherwise, if you just cannot reply, that doesn't mean patience, right? Like many people get annoyed by others, and they have no way to, they have nothing to do. So they say, they try to compliment themselves, but we are showing patience. Well, if you are complaining day and night, if you are showing, if you are showing how much you are frustrated, you are showing frustration because of the actions you see, then you're not showing patience. Patience means that as if nothing is befalling you. So you control yourself, you control your reactions to the extent that people cannot tell that you have a problem that you are facing. I can tell you one example from, well, there are many examples from our Salaf. There was one of the tabi'een, radiallahu anhu wa arda, that he saw a person who was complaining about a pain that he had in his hand. And he asked him to show patience. He said, I am patient. He said, no, patience means that no one knows about this. He said, how could this ever happen? He said, I can tell you one secret, but please don't tell it others. He said, Wallahi, I have been living for the past 20 years with only one eye working, the other eye doesn't work, and not even my wife know about it. So it sometimes, sometimes people think that they are doing good when they are not. Patience means that you endure the trouble or the issues, the tests, the tribulations, as if there's nothing really ahead of you or in front of you. Umar. So after he passed away, the other guy told the secret, because this one was very encouraging, right? I know you would ask this question, Umar. Wallahi, I know. I know my son. I know. I said, if he doesn't ask it here, he will ask me at the car. Jazakallah khair. Good. Barakallah fi. طيب. So we had أهجرهم هجرا جميلا, to stay away from people without backbiting them. Sabrun jameel means to show patience without complaining. Now, safh jameel, which means to forgive in a graceful manner. So what does jameel here add to safh? Huh? It's close. It's close.
And not come back to the problem afterwards.
Very close. Very close. You know, when you blame people, like for example, I see my son doing something wrong, and I say, Abdullah, I forgive you, but wallahi, did you know what you did to yourself? Did you know how much you hurt me? And then the next day, Abdullah, I'm still hurt because of what you did. I forgave you, but akhi, did you know how much it was? That is called itab. That's called the itab. So when you keep reminding people of their faults, when you keep blaming them, that's no more forgiving, right? People think, I can tell you this, most of us really do that. We claim that we forgive people, but we always have it in our minds, to the extent that anytime we go into dispute again, we remember all the history behind, right? So I have a dispute with Brother Nawaf now, and then I did him wrong, and he did me wrong, and then we say, well, we forgive each other. And then after a year, we are in a new dispute. And then what I say to him, did you remember what you told me last year? Well, you already forgave me. Why are you remembering that again? So that's called itab. So safhun jameel means that you forgive and you really forget. You truly forget and you do not blame others for what they did wrong for you. Okay, so safhun jameel, sabrun jameel, and hajrun jameel. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that even those who come against you, even those who put you down or who curse you or who do whatever against you, أهجرهم هجرا جميلا, stay away from them and do not backbite them. Just leave them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be the one who will give you your right, or will get you your right. Now, something important. So the order here, asbar, and then uhjur, right? Asbar, show patience. If you can't, then leave them away. So some people say, well, I can show patience, but I have a limit. And at what point of time I will decide to stay away? I don't want to waste my time with those people. I'm getting nothing but bad things from them. I'm actually putting myself in a position where I could have spent my time elsewhere. So the question is, if you are at a state where you're showing patience, you can still show more patience, but then you thought about it, it's not worth it. Let me just move to another masjid. Those people in this masjid, I can't work with them. Every time I tell them about something, an advice, or ask them to do, ask them to do khair, they react in a negative manner. So maybe I should just stay away from them. So the question is, what is better for a person? To stay away from people when they treat him badly, or to show patience and consistently try to do them good, so that they may inshallah change into better? Of course it is the second, because Rasul ﷺ said in another hadith, whoever join the people and show patience to their fault or wrongdoing, and show patience to that, is better than the one who stay away from them and don't have to treat them or deal with them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you for every time you show patience. And look at this. When the Rasul those people who have caused the Rasul harm in their past days, they were either of two. Either they passed away on the state of kufr wal iyadu billah, or they changed and they became Muslim. And those who became Muslim after they were against the Rasul ﷺ, they became so great Muslims. Especially, people like Umar ibn al-Khattab. Even people who Abu Sufyan, Muawiyah ibn Abu Sufyan. Many of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum who at the beginning did not really accept Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they became Muslim, not only they changed, but also they had to regret everything they did in the past. And because they regret what they did in the past, they wanted to compensate that by an extra amount of good deeds. So in addition to becoming Muslim and becoming better people, they had to compensate for all the past bad deed that they did, so that they become better and better. And that's why you see that many of the Sahaba have worked so much. Like Amr ibn al-As. Did you hear about this Sahabi? Amr ibn al-As? Okay, I'll tell you this hadith about Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu. Amr ibn al-As, and this hadith is in Sahih Muslim. Amr ibn al-As said once, or he was he was very severely ill, and his family were around him, and they thought it was the end of it. So his son saw him on his deathbed, and he asked him, he said, "Dad, what do you feel?" He said, "You always tell us. I wish those who are on their deathbed can tell us what they feel. And now you are there. Can you tell us what you feel?" Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu said that at that time, he said, "أحس أن جبل رضوى فوق صدري." I feel like the mountains of Radwa, one of the big mountains there, is on my chest. And he started talking about his situation and how much he, what he feels towards that moment. But then he said, لقد كنت في حياتي على أطباق ثلاث. In my lifetime, I went through 3 phases. لقد كنت وما كان لي أبغض من رسول الله. وما كان لي من أحد أبغض من رسول الله. I used to spend a time when there was no one I hate more than Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. ووالله لو استطعت أن أقتله لقتلته. And I swear, had I got the chance to kill him at that time, I would have killed him. ثم زرع الله الإيمان في قلبي. Allah has guided my heart. فما أحد أحب إلي من محمد. And no one became more beloved to me than Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. ووالله ما كنت أملأ عيني من النظر من وجهه إجلالا له. That I could not, during that time, as I felt of how shameful I was, how shameful my wrongdoing were against him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I could not even look him on the eyes. Because I just remember how much I was so bad. وَوَاللَّهِ لَوْ مُتُّ عَلَى ذَلِكَ الْحَالِ لَرَجَوْتُ أَنْ أَكُونَ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ. And I swear by Allah, if I were to die on that estate, when I became Muslim, and I felt that so much attached to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and so much regretful of what I have done in the past, at that point in time, I was at my highest level of Iman. And if I were dying at that time, I would hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would place me in Jannah, because I knew it was very high level of Iman. ثُمَّ وُلِّينَا مِنَ الدُّنْيَا مَا وُلِّينَا. But after the death of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, we have been given the dunya more widely than ever before. And Amr ibn al-As, like most of the other Sahaba, they went abroad, they went everywhere. And subhanAllah, of course, at that time, the Islamic land became so large, and they became like leaders, right? And the leader, most of the time a leader, people respect him and they try to help him and whatnot. So they felt that at the time when they became more being served than them serving others. You see the point? When the Sahaba felt that they got into a level where now others started to serve them, as opposed to the time before when they were serving others. At that point in time, they felt that they were no more as pure to their Lord as they are now. And he said, وَلَكِنِّي أَرْجُو مِنَ اللَّهِ أَنْ يَغْفِرْ. That I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive us. So that was an example of a Sahabi radiallahu anhu, who when he changed from kufr to iman, not only he became a good Muslim, but also he wanted to compensate for every bad deed that he did in the past. And he did everything possible to become perfect. So the meaning here is that when you show patience to others, it's not about just allowing them to hurt you or allowing them to do wrong to you. But remember that one point in time, when they realize their mistakes, and they realize and remember how patient you were with them, that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala throw guidance in their hearts, they will become the best people to you. And I'm sure that every one of us can call from his life experience examples of these. Wallahi, I mean, the thing that I always remember about Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, how every Muslim used to hide from him when he walks, because of how harsh he was before Islam. And then after he became Muslim, he was the one always on the front line. And the Muslims used to stay behind him so that he can protect them. See how he changed? It didn't take much, brothers and sisters. It only took few days for his heart to change and flip. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide people, you just cannot expect how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will change them. Okay. So, وَأَنَّهُ واصبر على ما يقولون واهجرهم هجرا جميلا وذرني والمكذبين أولي النعمة ومهلهم قليلا. Leave me to deal with the deniers the deniers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has attributed the deniers here as the rich people. And in fact, not always the rich people are deniers, and not always the deniers are rich people. But it is very common that the rich people, you will see more deniers from the rich people than from others. And the reason for that is that people who got more from this dunya, from this worldly life, they may show arrogance, right? As opposed to others. وَمَهِلْهُمْ قَلِيلًا, and give them a little more time until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will either guide them or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will destroy them. إِنَّ لَدَيْنَا أَنْكَالًا وَجَحِيمًا, indeed with us are heavy fetters and a fierce fire. وَطَعَامًا ذَا غُصَّةٍ وَعَذَابًا أَلِيمًا, and a food that chokes those who gulp it, and a painful punishment prepared for them. Now, subhanAllah, when a person eats the best food, and then the person has a choke, what does the person feel? About to die, right? Does anyone like that? Even if it was sushi? I know some people don't like sushi, but I mean, even if it were like the best food? Of course not. But Allah here says, وَطَعَامًا ذَا غُصَّةٍ, that this food that will choke them, and this is not like a good food. This is az-zaqum. Az-zaqum is that tree that grows in Jahannam, wal-'iyadhu billah. Like, can you imagine a person eating a firestone and then causing chalk as well? So not only that it is choking him, but also it is burning him. So that's what it is. وَطَعَامًا ذَا غُصَّةٍ وَعَذَابًا أَلِيمًا يَوْمَ تَرْجُفُ الْأَرْضُ وَالْجِبَالُ وَكَانَتِ الْجِبَالُ كَثِيبًا مَهِيلًا, the day when the earth and the mountains will quake, and the mountains will be like dunes of shifting sand. Yes, Abdullah.
So, in Jahannam they would also need to eat. In Jahannam they would also need to eat.
They will be eating from zaqum.
But they don't. In Jahannam they die, and when they get resurrected again to the adab. So how they feel hunger?
No, they will not be eating because of hunger. They will be forced to eat from zaqum. Well, no one would eat anything that he dislikes, right? And this is fire, so they will be forced to eat a zaqum. And they will be chopped. And it will be burning them, inside and outside. So Jahannam, does not only burn the skin from the outside, it also go inside when people have to eat from a zaqum. إِنَّا أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْكُمْ رَسُولًا شَاهِدًا عَلَيْكُمْ كَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَى فِرْعَوْنَ رَسُولًا, indeed we have sent to you a prophet or a messenger to be a witness to you, just as we have sent a prophet or messenger to the Pharaoh. فَعَصَى فِرْعَوْنُ الرَّسُولَ فَأَخَذْنَاهُ أَخْذًا وَبِيلًا. So, but the Pharaoh disobeyed the prophet, so we seized him with a terrible seizing. فَكَيْفَ تَتَّقُونَ إِن كَفَرْتُمْ يَوْمًا يَجْعَلُ الْوِلْدَانَ شِيبًا. So how, if you disbelieve, how would you avoid the day which will make children white-headed? Which will make the children white-headed. Now, I know that I have heard this, I did not verify it with experts, but I have heard that some people get through their life into some maybe difficult moments at which their hair suddenly turns gray. Did you hear about this? There are some incidents that are very shocking, perhaps, or maybe scary, or maybe sad, or whatever it is, that may turn the hair into a gray color almost instantaneously. Well, I don't know the science behind this or the medicine behind this, but I heard it from many people. But regardless of that, I want to say that the gray hair is most of the time is due to what? Old age, right? The ayah here says that the youngsters, on that day, because of how much it is scary, their hair will be turning gray. Now, let me tell you this hadith from Sahih al-Bukhari and in Sahih Muslim. The hadith says, يقول الله تعالى, that Allah the Exalted says, that, so Prophet Muhammad said, Allah the Exalted said, at the day of judgment, when people are gathered together, in the day of judgment, when people are there, all from Adam alayhi salam till the last person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, Ya Adam, O Adam. And Adam will say, Labbayka wa sa'dayk wal khayru fi yadayk. Adam will say, here I am at your service, and all goodness is in your hand, O Allah. Allah will say, Akhrij ba'th an-nar, which means bring forth those who are to be sent to the hell. So Allah is asking Adam, bring forth those people who will be sent to the hellfire. And Adam will say, Adam is the father of all of us. Adam will say, وَمَا بَعْثُ النَّارِ. So who are the people? How could I identify them? Who are the people that will be sent to the hellfire? And Allah will say, مِن كُلِّ أَلْفٍ تِسْعَمِائَةٍ وَتِسْعَةً وَتِسْعِينَ. From every 1,000 person, bring forth 999 person that will be thrown in the hellfire. فيقول الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم فعنده يشيب الصغير. At that moment, all the children their hair will turn gray. وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها, and every pregnant female will abort. وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى, and the people will appear as if they were intoxicated, although they are not. ولكن عذاب الله شديد, but the punishment of Allah is severe. Now the Sahaba could not take it easy, and they said, Ya Rasulullah, وَأَيُّنَا ذَاكَ الْوَاحِدِ? So who would be that one from every 1,000? How could we be that from that one? If this is not 1%, this is 0.1%, by the way. This is 0.1%. So Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, فَإِنَّ مِنْكُمْ رَجُلًا وَمِنْ يَأْجُوجَ وَمَأْجُوجَ أَلْفًا. That it is one person from you, and the remaining will be from Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. Ya'juj wa Ma'juj, we know about them. They were mentioned in the Quran. They are mentioned in the Sunnah. Those are people from the children of Adam, whom have caused trouble in their whole life. And they were, they just grow like us. We don't know exactly where they are, because this is from al-ghayb, from the unseen world. Many people now have problem of these ahadith that talk about Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. Like, for example, I got a brother who was asking me, okay, in today's time we have Google Maps and we can tell everywhere in the globe. We have explored every part of this world, of this planet Earth, and we could not see anything like that. So where are those Ya'juj wa Ma'juj? It doesn't work that way. We never know. They could be people that we are dealing with that we don't know, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will expose them to us. It could be that they are relatively small at this moment, and then they will grow faster later on. We never know. All these things are in the unseen world that we have to believe in, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described us by saying, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى الْمُتَّقِينَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. that this book is, there's no doubt in it, and it is a guidance to those who pious, those who believe in the unseen world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about them, Ya'juj wa Ma'juj, in Surat Al-Kahf, in Surat Al-Kahf, also in Surat Al-Anbiya as well. And Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam talked about them. This one hadith is in Sahih al-Bukhari and in Sahih Muslim. So they are people, they are human beings, they are from the children of Adam. Yet we don't know where their location is, we don't know, we know about their story, we know about Dhul Qarnayn, who built the wall and all that, but we cannot say that this wall is in this land or in this country or in this area. We cannot do that. And we cannot say that those are the type of people who are described as Ya'juj or Ma'juj, but we can always say that they exist, and that at one point in time they will be exposed to us. And at that point in time, when that happens, then only people who had that strong belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be saved. Yes, Habib.
Is it one for every 1,000, like the time they come out, or at the time of
No, that's throughout the time from Adam until the last person in this life. So all of them together. So those Ya'juj or Ma'juj will be so huge. And they are, wal-'iyadhu billah, they are very bad. And they will destroy, they will kill, they will destroy everything that they come across. Wal-'iyadhu billah.
So 59 billion times 1,000.
Habibi, I don't know much of math, so you can use your calculator and we talk offline, inshallah. Allah yardalik. Yeah, I can tell. This is American thinking. I can't believe it until I see it, of course. And I don't blame anyone here, but this is one of the things that we say. We believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we believe in His Messenger. Whatever they told us, we believe in it. We don't know the how, but we know that the what. We know the what, we believe in the what, we don't know the how. Allah told us about Ya'juj or Ma'juj, that's the what. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us about them, that's the what. How? Allahu alam. Any other thing that they did not tell us, Allah or His Prophet, we cannot make our own imagination. And by the way, this is very important. There are folks that I have learned or I have got the chance to talk to, who have spent not only hours, not only days, not only weeks, not only months, but years and years and years, trying to learn everything possible to identify where Ya'juj or Ma'juj are located. Any attempt of that sort will go to failure, for sure. Because Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that the people will only see them at the time when they get exposed. No one will see them, no one will be able to notice them. Maybe we can see them, but we don't know that those are Ya'juj and Ma'juj. That's perhaps possible. We don't know, Allahu A'lam. But I want to say that they will not be exposed to the people as being Ya'juj or Ma'juj until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed that. So any attempt to try to find them or identify their place or whatnot will go into failure. So there's no point, there's no fruit, there's no value of doing any research on that other than understanding the sunnah of Rasulullah ﷺ and what the Quran has told us about them. That's the only thing that will benefit us, because no one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, قُلْ لَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ الْغَيْبَ إِلَّا Allah, that none of the existence in the heaven or on earth know about the future except Allah. No one knows about the unseen world except Allah, or whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give or provide some of those information, including some of the prophets or some of the angels. So there's no point of us really going to exerting efforts in trying to explore what is the Ya'juj or Ma'juj, where are they and whatnot. And as I mentioned, they could be people that we are already dealing with, or we already saw, but we don't know those would be Ya'juj and Ma'juj, or it could be that they are hidden now. They might be relatively small now, but then later they will be increased dramatically in numbers, and that's also possible. Because it's like people growth on planet Earth is exponential. It's not polynomial. 100 years ago, if you compare population of planet Earth between 2 consecutive years, it cannot be compared to nowadays. Like the growth now, the number of new children and new generations is going exponentially faster than ever before, right? So Allahu Alam, all these are things that we don't know, and there's no value of knowing them. All what we need to understand is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger have talked about. You had a question, Akhi? Yes.
Considering what the Quran says, and if we get creating this facade on earth, could it be we have them right now, they are playing in our faces, they're getting us angry, they're on our skin? Would that be a consideration that should strengthen our Islam or our Iman? I'm talking about tangible people that we can see physically.
So Habibi, let me repeat this. If there's nothing explicit in the Sunnah, we should not even imagine it. You see the point? That's how Sahaba radiallahu anhum have believed in the unseen world. They said, whatever Allah or Prophet Muhammad have said, we will take it as is. It's not that we are taking it as is without understanding the what. We are understanding the what. We know they are children of Adam. We know that they have done this in the time of Dhul Qarnayn and all that. We know that. We know what that means. But going beyond what has been said, even for an atomic distance, is of no value. Because anything in the unseen world is the knowledge of Allah, not our knowledge. So when people say, could it be this, could it be that? There might be reasons for us maybe to make it easier for our children to understand it, or people who have never thought about it. But we should really train ourselves to take the ayah and the hadith from the Quran and from the Sunnah without challenging them, without questioning them. That is part of our belief. When the Sahaba radiallahu anhum wa ardahum have heard about the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in his Isra, right? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala moved him from Mecca to Jerusalem, and then Jerusalem to the 7th heaven on the day of Isra and Mi'raj. Abu Bakr said, "In kana qalahu faqad sadaq." If he sallallahu has said that, he is the most truthful. I'm not going to even challenge it. I'm not going to even think how it could happen. If he said that, he is the most truthful. I take it, I buy it, I believe in it. That's the type of tasdeeq that we, the believers, have to have. You know what? If someone now tells me that I took my breakfast here and my dinner in Jerusalem, I have no problem in believing in that. We already saw that you can travel in the airplane and mashallah, you can get there. For us now, it's very easy to take that and buy it and believe in it, right? But in the time of Sahaba, no way. But yet, no one questioned Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No one challenged him. And that's the type of belief that we should, or the behavior that we should have towards any of the unseen world things, inshallah. So let me just try to continue. We have another, 15 minutes? Okay. طيب السماء منفطر به كان وعد مفعولا. And wherein the sky, wherein meaning on that day of judgment, the sky will be rent apart, will be so much heavily loaded. Allah's promise is bound to be fulfilled. إِنَّ هَذِهِ تَذْكِرَةٌ. This is indeed a reminder for all of you. فَمَنْ شَاءَ اتَّخَذَ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ سَبِيلًا. So let anyone who wishes take the way toward his Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, the last ayah. I would like to finish this, inshallah, before Salah, so we will be done with Surat al-Muzammil. The last ayah in Surat al-Muzammil is the half-page ayah. Allah says, إِنَّ رَبَّكَ يَعْلَمُ أَنَّكَ تَقُومُ أَدْنَى مِنْ ثُلُثَيِ اللَّيْلِ وَنُصْفَهُ وَثُلُثَهُ وَطَائِفَةٌ مِنَ الَّذِينَ مَعَكَ. Indeed, your Lord knows, O Muhammad, that you stand in prayer during the night, nearly 2/3 of it, or half or a third of it, along with a group of those who are with you. Which means that it wasn't only Prophet Muhammad, but it was also the Sahaba around him, sallallahu and radiallahu anhum, that they used to stand in night for prayer. I ask myself, I ask my family, I ask everyone here, please, if you get the chance, once in a while, please wake up, set your alarm to before Adhan al-Fajr by say half an hour. Wake up earlier than Adhan al-Fajr. Pray 2 rak'ah. At least be prepared to tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to say in front of Allah, I already made a night prayer at least once in my life. Wallahi, it's my wish to myself and to my family and to everyone here. This is an opportunity that if you do it, wallahi, you will get the strength and support for the entire day next to that. And if you do it, it will help you to stay steadfast in the religion. Because no wise person will waste his or her good deed during the dark night in the daytime by doing or by committing sins in the daytime. If you have done a night prayer by yourself, no one knows about you except Allah, in the following day, you will not be willing to commit a single sin, because you will never be willing to move your good sins to the waste after you did that in the night. So Allah said that Allah knows about you, what you spend, and then Allah says, وَاللَّهُ يُقَدِّرُ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ, and Allah measures the night and the day. عَلِمَ أَن لَن تُحْصُوا, Allah knows that you cannot calculate it. Which means at their time, they could not calculate what it means to do 1/3, 1/2, 2/3. They could not. It wasn't easy for them. Not everyone can tell whether or not the half of the night has passed or not yet. But then Allah says, فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been lenient towards you. So recite as much of the Qur'an as is feasible. Which means when you do your night prayer, recite as much as you can. Don't worry about how much you have spent during the night. Don't set your clock to say, okay, I'll let this ring when it is like 1 hour. Don't worry about that. Just spend as much as you can in your recitation, and that's it. So, فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. One fiqh ruling that some of the ulama have got from this is that, and this is in the Hanafi madhab, is that when someone prays, then in the rak'ah you can recite anything from the Qur'an. And that's why in the Hanafi madhab, if someone does not recite al-Fatiha, it is against the sunnah, of course, but it does not nullify salah, as long as there is a recitation of some part of the Qur'an. In the Shafi'i madhab, as well as in the Hanbali madhab, no, it has to be, Surah al-Fatiha has to be there. The Hanafi got it from this ayah, اقرأوا ما تيسر من القرآن, recite whatever you can from Qur'an. But in the Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah has got it from a hadith in which Rasul said, لا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ بأم الكتاب, that the salah does not count for a person who does not recite Surah al-Fatiha. What I'm trying to say here is not really here to say this is more authentic than this, or this is more correct than this. No, this is not my intention. And you know that I always admire and acknowledge the great contribution that all those four scholars have brought to all the Muslims after them. So whether it is Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi'i, Malik, or Ahmad ibn Hanbal. But the point here is that you will see that those ulama have got their science and their conclusions not from the blue. They got it from Quran and from the Sunnah. Okay. علم أن سيكون منكم مرضى وآخرون يضربون في الأرض يبتغون من فضل الله وآخرون يقاتلون في سبيل الله. He knows that some of you will be sick while others will be in trouble, while others will be land seeking Allah's grace, and yet others will fight in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, what does this mean? Allah is asking Prophet Muhammad to go stand in night for prayer, right? We're not talking about an obligatory prayer here. We're more talking about what? A night nafil prayer. And the ayah says after that Allah knows some of you will be sick, some of you will be traveling to seek provision, others will be in the battlefield, right? In fight or in the jihad or whatever. Now, what does that mean? It means that if you are not in those type of circumstances, difficult circumstances, then you are supposed to do the night prayer. If you are at home, if you're not on travel, if you are not sick, if you are not in fight, then you are supposed to really be doing the night prayer. You see the point? So those are the excuses that the ayah has mentioned for people who are not doing the night prayer. And nowadays, none of us is in this, yet we don't do the night prayer. And see where that puts us, brothers and sisters. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنْهُ وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَأَقْرِضُوا اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا. So recite as much of it as it is feasible. Meaning, pray during your night prayer and recite from the Quran as much as you can in your night prayer, and maintain the prayer and pray and pay the zakat, and lend Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a good loan. And then Allah says, وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِندَ اللَّهِ وَخَيْرًا وَأَعْظَمَ أَجْرًا. Whatever good you send ahead for yourself, will find it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hereafter. That is better and greater with respect to reward. The last statement was astaghfirullah, inna Allah ghafurur rahim, and plead to Allah for forgiveness. Indeed, Allah is all forgiving and Allah is all merciful. Now I just want to link this last statement with the first statement of the surah. What did Allah say in the first ayah? Ya ayyuhal muzammil qum al-layla illa qalila. The last ayah was astaghfirullah inna Allah ghafurur rahim. So stand to your Lord in prayer is the first ask. The last ask is astaghfirullah. Seek forgiveness from Allah. The ulama have said about this, that despite all the good deed that you do to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you stand to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the whole night, yet you need to make istighfar. Because regardless of what you do towards your Lord, you still have a lot of shortcomings. And you cannot thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a one bounty of His, let alone all the other bounties. So stand to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the night prayer and make sure that you always make your istighfar. You never know, Allah may not even accept that prayer itself from you. But even if Allah accepts it, it's not enough to do whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deserves to be done for. جزاكم الله خير وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.